I think it's about time that I reintroduced myself to the booktube community because I've been kind of in and out over the past few years. Hey guys, it's Whitney. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a different kind of video for you guys. It's less about specific books or types of books or, you know, the general kinds of videos that I do, and more about sort of my booktube journey, I guess is what you can call it, and also my reintroduction to booktube as well as just YouTube in general. So I've been doing a little bit of digging in booktube land and looking for like tags that are for people who've been on booktube for a while but need a reintroduction. There are some of those around, but none of them are exactly what I wanted, so I decided to just kind of not do a tag. Instead, I've kind of taken some of the questions that applied to what I want in this video or what I want this video to cover, and I've kind of included them, but not in a question form. I've just used them to influence the topics that this video is going to touch on. So I guess the best place to start would be the beginning. Because this is a reintroduction, I felt like it was probably a good idea to maybe give you guys some basic information about me, about my channel. We can start with the very basics. My name is Whitney. I say it at the beginning of pretty much every video. Secondly, I'm an old lady on booktube. I'm 28. Another basic fact I feel is my favorite genre is fantasy. I read YA fantasy, I read adult fantasy, I read the other genres here and there, and I like to branch out and I like to try new things, but fantasy is always where I come back to. I also read a lot of graphic novels, comics, and manga, so if you're into that, there will be stuff about that on my channel for sure. I don't want to sit here and just saturate you guys with a bunch of boring facts about me. Maybe I'll save that for one of those 25 facts about me videos, if that's something you guys want. So I started my channel in 2014. My original channel name was Accio Books. A couple of years later, I decided that since new channels were popping up everywhere with the same name and I wasn't really getting any views, or like my channel name wasn't very unique, it didn't stand out, I decided I was gonna change it, and it took me a while to actually come up with something that I liked. But at some point I landed on A Darker Shade of Whitney, and it's just kind of stuck because the A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy is the first trilogy that sort of made me feel the same way that Harry Potter made me feel when I was younger. But before all of this channel name changing and all this good stuff, you guys might want to know how I actually got into reading, or back into reading really. I read a decent amount when I was in school, high school, elementary school. I read a good amount. Not nearly the amount that I read now. The amount of books I read now in a month, I never could have imagined doing then, but I've always liked stories, so I've always liked reading and video games and that kind of stuff. So I kind of stopped reading when I was in college. I went to a technical college, so it was only 2 years. But one day, out of the blue, my partner decided that he was gonna bring me home a book. He happened to bring me home a book called Divergent. I'm pretty sure all of you know what that is. At that point in time, I was what I like to refer to myself as an undeveloped reader. I didn't know my personal tastes and I hadn't been reading in a while, so any story felt fresh and new to me. I pretty much devoured Divergent, and then I immediately went out and got Insurgent, and I did the same thing with Allegiant when that came out, and things just spiraled from there. So I think that that was probably about 2012 or 2013, which was before I started my booktube channel. But Divergent is how I found booktube. So I don't know what possessed me to go on YouTube and look up Divergent reviews. I have absolutely no idea, but somehow I landed on Poland Banana's book review of Divergent and found the booktube community and spiraled into being an avid watcher of booktube videos. I found all of the big booktubers, and then the community was a lot smaller than it is now. So after I found the community, I was always interested in putting my own thoughts out there, even though I'm not that great at being cohesive when it comes to explaining my thought about things. I've gotten a lot better. In August 2014, I ended up starting my own booktube channel, and things went from there. So I know I didn't say before, but I've kind of been off and on with filming and posting videos since 2018 and 2019. Coming back into booktube, into YouTube in general, I knew that I didn't want to restrict myself to just books, which is where I kind of struggle because I do consider myself a booktuber, but I don't fully connect with the term of booktuber, if that makes sense. I'm a YouTuber, but I like to engage in multiple different sub-communities, I guess you could say. Obviously, it's probably always gonna lean book heavy, but some other things that I do like to talk about are video games, weird nerdy things in general, journaling, animals. I have a bunch of pets, maybe even some anime here and there because I talk about manga already, so why not? Part of me wants to sit here and talk about, you know, my favorite books and all of that kind of stuff, but honestly, if you keep watching this channel, you're gonna learn what they are. It's pretty obvious what one of my absolute favorites is just from the name of my channel, so I'm not gonna sit here and do that, but I did want to just take a second and talk to you guys, talk to anyone who's new. At the beginning of 2020, I actually privated a lot of my old videos because they felt like they were holding me back. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it just felt like they weren't me anymore, if that makes sense. Honestly, I've even contemplated privating some of the ones I still have up now. I kind of wanted to just private everything, but I didn't feel like that was such a great idea. If you guys have anything that you want to know about me, feel free to ask in the comments or on Twitter. All of my information is in the description below. Also, if you have any videos that you want to see me do, feel free to drop that there as well because I'd be happy to have your input. Sometimes I get kind of stumped at what to film because a lot of people do vlogs and I don't necessarily have the time to do vlogs the way that they do, even though they seem like they'd be a lot of fun to just have, even if it was just for me. But that's it really. Like I said, I just wanted to take a second, reintroduce myself to the community, keep an eye out for new videos coming soon, I guess, and I'll see you guys next time.